Hi everyone. If you've ever looked at the bottom of your pool and thought, I really do not want to drag out the vacuum today, this is the kind of product that instantly gets your attention. Today, I'm reviewing the Dolphin Nautilus CC Robotic Pool Cleaner, and I'm going to keep this very practical. This is not one of those products that looks exciting sitting next to the pool. It's a boxy little robot with a cord, a power console, and a filter basket. But once pool season starts, or once the wind blows leaves and dirt into the water, that boring-looking machine can become something you rely on a lot. My experience with it started with a pretty simple setup. I read through the quick start directions, connected the waterproof cord to the control unit, placed the cleaner into the pool, plugged the console into the wall, and pressed the power button. That was basically it. There wasn't a complicated assembly process, and I didn't need to spend an hour figuring out how to make it run. Once it sinks into the water, it starts moving around the floor on its own. In my pool, it picked up the obvious debris first. Dirt, small leaves, little pebbles, and the stuff that tends to settle along the bottom after mowing the lawn or after windy weather. The first time I used it, I kept checking on it because I wanted to see if it was actually doing anything. It was. You can see it slowly crawling across the pool floor, turning, climbing, and pulling debris into the top-loading basket. One of the best things about this cleaner is that it doesn't require the same kind of effort as manual vacuuming. With a traditional setup, I have to connect hoses, deal with suction, move slowly around the pool, and stand there in the heat until the job is done. With this, I usually spend a few minutes setting it up, drop it in, and then go do something else. That is where the convenience really shows up. The pool still needs normal care, of course, like brushing, water testing, water level checks, and filter maintenance. But this takes a big chunk of the bottom cleaning work away. The wall climbing is also impressive. In my pool, it climbs the walls well enough that part of the unit can actually come above the waterline before it drops back down. It scrubs as it moves, and that helps reduce how often I feel like I need to manually scrub the walls. It does a good job on the floor and walls, especially when the pool is not completely overloaded with debris. That said, it is not perfect in every area. Stairs are one place where it struggles. If you have pool steps, do not expect this to clean them the way you would with a brush. I still brush the steps manually from time to time. Corners can also need a little help, especially sharp 90-degree corners or the base of the walls where dirt tends to collect. What works best for me is brushing that dirt toward the middle of the pool floor before running the robot. Once the debris is moved out from those tight areas, the cleaner usually handles it much better. The filter basket is one of my favorite parts of the design. It loads from the top. So after the cycle is done, I can open the lid, lift the basket out, and rinse it with a garden hose. Compared with older style cloth bags or bottom loading systems, this is much easier and less messy. The basket can collect a surprising amount of dirt and fine debris, but it does need to be cleaned regularly. If the basket gets clogged with fine silt or debris, the suction performance drops. For me, rinsing it after every cycle is the best habit. If the pool is especially dirty, I check it even more often. The cleaner is manageable to remove from the water, but there is a small trick to it. When it is underwater, it feels light. Once you start pulling it up, it gets heavier because of all the water inside. I usually guide it close with the cord, then grab the unit itself when it is within reach. I let it sit near the waterline for a few seconds so the water drains back into the pool before lifting it out. That makes the whole process easier and puts less stress on the cord. Speaking of the cord, this is one area worth talking about. The cord is long, but it can develop twists or tangles over time. In my use, the twisting has not stopped the cleaner from doing its job, but I do make a point of stretching the cord out after use and rolling it up neatly. If you just throw it into storage twisted every time, it can become more annoying later. Some people may also need to think carefully about where their outlet is located, because the power unit has to stay away from the water, and the available cord length depends on the pool layout. Storage has been simple for me. I keep the robot protected when it is not in use, and I keep the power console in a safer, dry place. That just seems like common sense since the console has the electronics. The cleaner itself has held up well with regular use, even in salt water, but I still try not to treat it roughly. I also avoid leaving unnecessary pressure on the front brush when storing it. In regular use, I usually run it about once a week during the warmer months, and definitely after mowing or whenever debris gets into the pool. A standard cleaning cycle usually gets the pool looking very good. If I want it extra clean, I may run it longer or start a second cycle. Most of the time, one cycle handles the majority of the job, especially if I brush the walls and corners first. There are a few things I wish were better. I would like stronger step cleaning ability. I would also like the filter to resist clogging a bit more when there's a lot of fine dirt. A remote control option could be useful for directing it across a shallow platform or specific mist spots, although for quick touch-ups, manually repositioning it works fine. I would also recommend paying attention to the warranty and power controller, because electronics are always one of the things I want protected on a product like this. Overall, the Dolphin Nautilus CC has been a very useful pool accessory. It is simple to operate, easy to clean, climbs walls well, and saves a lot of time compared with doing everything manually. It doesn't completely eliminate brushing, especially around steps, corners, and the base of walls, but it makes routine pool cleaning much easier. For me, the biggest benefit is not having to stand outside vacuuming the pool when it is extremely hot or cold. I can drop it in, let it work, rinse the basket, and enjoy a cleaner pool with far less effort. If you want a robotic cleaner that is easy to use and does the main job well, this one is worth considering as long as you understand its limits with steps, cord management, and filter cleaning. If you have any questions about this product, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.